Okay, today is very exciting. I'm going back to the Riso lab, yay, for the first time. It's like since the holidays, pretty much. Right now I'm packing orders. It's 10:45. I have to leave by 11, so I have to pack orders, and then I have all these orders to drop off. Rough. And then you're gonna come with me, and we're gonna restock some stuff while we're there. So I don't have a lot of paper. I'll show you what I got. Let's look. I have less than 2 reams of paper here, which is enough to print. I need to restock these because look, I literally have 1 left. I don't know what else I'm gonna restock. I might redesign these, but for right now, this is the priority. It's gonna take me 2 seconds, so I don't know what I'm gonna do afterwards with all that time. But here's all my labels that we gotta print. Try not to show you anybody's address. Half of these are the packing list and half of these are the labels. Time to pack orders. Testing out a new format with this voiceover, but I don't really want to edit it, so it's going to be kind of conversational style. So we've got mint on the left and teal on the right, and this is setting up the Riso to get that poster printed. I'm in the master making process right now, so I send each color individually to the machine and print them by itself. It usually takes a couple to get the ink kind of rolling in the drum to make it nice. So there's the mint by itself. And then because the teal is a more saturated page, it goes second so it doesn't get stuck. Because if the ink is really like smeary and oily, so it can get stuck in the machine and you can get a paper jam. Now we're looking at it, and where you can see all the white is where there's misregistration. So I tweak those using these buttons on the machine that adjust the location and the skew of each color individually inside of the machine. So this is pretty much what it always looks like. You print one, you look at it, you make some adjustments. You print another one, you look at it, you make some adjustments until you get it the way you wanted, which was what we have here. And then I'm like, actually maybe not. And then you can go into fine adjustments and make even smaller, like tiny little millimeter tweaks. And this whole process is the proofing process, which has its own button on the machine that prints each paper with slightly less ink, so it's a little more eco-friendly than blowing through all your ink. And all these proof pages you can just print over and over, so usually you'll see on the back of some of these pages is like other students' work. And then there we have it. I've got the one. Yay. That means it's time to pull out the fancy paper. For these flyers, I'm using Cougar Smooth Natural. The process of learning about paper for this was extremely confusing, but I literally bought this ream of paper off of somebody at the end of last semester, and I really like it. I think it's pretty popular for Riso printing. It's also pretty eco-friendly as a paper, which is nice. I didn't really realize how much paper you go through in this process with Riso, especially since, it is quite a otherwise eco-friendly thing, but either way, I reached my 50 and we sent them through. This was on a little bit of a slow day. Sometimes they can go really fast. I guess you can tell it to go faster. Now we're on to the counting process. I'm always pretty meticulous about counting because my biggest fear is overselling and not having stuff in stock that I've actually sold. So I always make sure to count at least 2 or 3 times everything that I do. So I made 50 of these. I actually have 52 because I did 2 proofs. That's the kind of numbers that I'm trying to keep track of. I'm not going to trim these today because they're too wet, but I am going to update my stock, and now there's 50 in stock, which is very exciting. And I realized that the women's sports schedule is also out of stock. I knew it was low. I didn't know it was sold out. At this point, I had a good amount of time left, so I figured I'd use the opportunity to update some of the schedules in that. So NWSL actually starts in March. I had it as May, and then I added in the PVF, which is the Professional Volleyball League, the new one. So made those tweaks. Oh, and then I realized that nobody was there, so I could switch to a different machine that had different colors. So that was my glamour shot. I had to leave that in. Come on, that lighting. Anyway, and this shot is me taking off my sweater, so for continuity's sake that it's still the same day. I just had a sweater on before, but now I don't. Anyway, it's getting serious when we're working on 2 computers, which I'm always doing. I basically put things into a Google Drive, and then on the shared computer, I log into the Google Drive and download it to the account. So now I'm picking my colors to print these flyers. I've gone with Kelly Green and Fluorescent Orange, which are the colors that I used in the original Riso, but not in the first version of this flyer that I sold. Previously, they were green and orange. I'll show you some more later in this video where you'll see them side by side. if you're not into art or this kind of printing, you might be like, what do you mean fluorescent orange is different from orange? Or what do you mean Kelly green and green? Like, how could they be different? But they're different. Like, they are different. And the machine actually, like, it's a physically different drum. So the tone is slightly different. I was having some trouble with this machine, which I did not film because I just couldn't figure out what was going on. Luckily, there's a lab tech who was there able to help me. And this is the updated color palette. I think it looks really nice. I love the fluorescent orange. It is just, she is my girl. And then we hit send on the 50 copies. So now there are 50 in stock. And I'm using this video as the way to let everybody know that they're new colors. These are some highlights from the hallway. They've got like some color registration things, a lot of people's work. The next stop is a post office, which is not my typical post office, but it's close to the Riso lab to try to drop these off. So patience is turned on, and we'll see how it goes. Sometimes hard to predict how a post office experience is going to be, but you know, hopefully it'll be pretty mellow and I'll get rid of all these. Yay! Okay, that was a rare painless experience, which is great. I will probably be coming back to this post office, even though that means I have to like carry stuff all the way here to then drop off. But that's fine. It's time to get some lunch and then head back home. I ran into my mom. Well, I didn't run into her. She was a couple stops away and we made a plan. So we had lunch. And now I'm back home. I actually had to go back to the post office a second time because I realized I didn't pick up the priority mailbox that I was supposed to pick up, and I also skipped a mail drop off by accident. But let's review. So this is the mailbox. We'll pack this in a moment and I'll explain what's going on with that. I've been collecting my receipts of dropping off my shipments, and I also have been getting manifests and I stamp that. They stamp them. I don't know if I need to do this, but I've been doing it. So here's my haul. We've got the updated and expanded A Day Without Women's Sports flyers. They're a little paler than the last ones, and the orange is a fluorescent orange instead of a regular orange. So they look a little different. I thought I was gonna like it better, but I actually don't know if I like it better. Let me show you. So on the left we have what it was, and on the right is what it is. The one I printed today is more accurate to the zine. And then I printed, like I said earlier, the lesbian fans, but I have to trim them down. So those are on the website, but I'll trim them tomorrow. Luckily, all of these stay here, which is on top of the heater, so it helps them dry. So it actually kind of works out. This is very exciting because I'm getting This is getting stacked with all these zines. I'm getting my zines professionally photographed for the very first time, which is a write-off, so I'm not totally sure what to expect. So I'm sending them 5 of the thick paper Riso version with like the little paper stars. 5 of those and 10 of the laser printed ones. I made some mood boards and some shot lists for what I want. So I want them to be kind of in a stack in a couple of the shots. So that's why that's happening. Yeah, I feel like I'm worried about this just kind of floating around and folding stuff. So I might either put them in envelopes in here or stuff it, or both. I have these poly mailers from years ago that are compostable, and they're just like they're just made out of nothing. They're composting as we speak. Definitely not something I can ship by themselves. They fell through the bottom of the bag. Okay, so psych on that part. I can't believe the first one worked. Well, I'm just gonna use it as like stuffing. Okay. I just don't want them to like rustle around a lot. The other thing I want to include in this is some of these postcards. I'm going to include 5 of each of the postcards so that they can use that to photograph. I put it in as a prop, but maybe I'll even have them photograph it. I don't really know yet, but that way there's options. So that box is packaged and ready to go out tomorrow. I'm gonna talk about the process of getting these photographs taken in another video just because I'm really excited about it and I didn't see a lot of content about it, so I just wanted to like kind of document the process because I would be curious. I'm testing out this new format because this is the kind of thing that I would have vlogged for TikTok previously, but I'm sort of starting to lean a little bit into longer form content. So being able to tell the story a little bit longer, I'm kind of enjoying it. So that's the status update from today, day 1 back at the lab. I'm excited. I think it's gonna be a really good semester if I can get on top of my shit. The biggest challenge for me is being prepared when I walk in the door and not like trying to work on things while I'm there and actively using my time. But today it was really quiet and I got a lot done, so that was good. That felt good. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sophia Mitropoulos. I'm an artist. I'm making Snatch Magazine. I've been off YouTube for a long time, but now we're back. And I thought for a long time that I didn't want to be making videos about art anymore, but I think I just didn't really know what art I wanted to be making videos about, and this I'm really enjoying, so hopefully you like it. I've been having a lot of fun learning how to use the Riso and printing all this stuff, and right now I'm printing stuff. Like today, this video was me printing stuff that I've already thought of, but I'm trying to figure out ways to document it from the beginning, from like the conception part. I admire graphic design influencers for the way they record their screens, because I just simply could not. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one. I don't know when that's gonna be, but probably soon, maybe. Bye!